Mobile, how's it going?
It's going great, Mobile.
You hear that? That's the sound of the Do Mobile Publication Magazine. If you're watching,
Fresh
obviously
off
you
the
know
press.
that. If you're listening, you wouldn't have known what that was. Guys, we're in our 4th year of this magazine, and we're pumped because last year was the first year that we started interviewing folks that are a part of the project. And so that went really well. And so we said, man, we've got to do that again this year. So unless you have an announcement, y'all hang out and then we'll play a little intro music for you, and then we'll hint who we have on the show today with us. Mandy just told me I need shorter intro music, so I'm gonna
Cheers
I'm
to
gonna
that.
figure that out. Do you want to give everyone a hint of who we have, or do you have a hint or like a riddle or
riddle? I don't have a riddle,
Okay.
but I will tell you it is an amazing organization that focuses on children who are struggling with something in particular.
Okay.
Does that help?
Got it.
Sure.
I'm not sure. Most of the titles, I'll admit, most of the titles have the name of the organization in them, but not always. Sometimes, no, I'm saying when someone clicks on the video or the podcast, it's usually in the title, so people would know. But it's not always, and I don't know what this one's going to be named until after the interview. So tell them who we have on, and we'll bring them on.
We have Melissa with Camp Rapahope.
With Rapahope. Heck yeah! All right, Melissa. Good morning. How are you doing?
I am great. How are y'all today?
We're doing really well. So Mandy just said Camp Rapahope. Is that incorrect? Should we say Rapahope instead of Camp Rapahope?
Yes.
Thank
Rapahope
you.
is the right way to say that. We do have camp, but we are Rapahope, and we used to be known as Camp Rapahope. That got kind of confusing because it seems like we're just a 1-week summer camp, but we're not. We've kind of grown, and we are year-round programming for families. So Rapahope made it a bit easier.
When did y'all change from, say, being known as Camp Rapahope to like branding to Rapahope? When did that happen?
It was just about 2 years ago, right when people kind of had to quit paying attention to outside things and only focus on their own health and being careful. And so it kind of went under the radar. So for us, it's not new news, but for many people, it still is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, even for me, that's a new thing, being involved in this project with nonprofits. But that's newer for me because in my head, I'm thinking Camp Rapahope. So that's awesome. Okay, so I want to, like, I always like just starting off and saying, hey, if I'm a stranger, we meet downtown during a Mardi Gras parade because that's what's going on right now. And you tell me what you do, and I'm like, oh, cool, Rapahope. What is that? Like, what would you tell me?
We are free year-round programming for families who've been diagnosed with childhood cancer. And I say families because a diagnosis for anyone affects everyone in their lives, in their family. And children with cancer, it's really a family diagnosis. So we do free fun all year long for families that have childhood cancer.
Wow. Okay. So if that child has siblings, the parents, whatever, you're doing stuff with the entire family.
Yes. One of the things we've added in the past 6 or so years is a sibling weekend, and that's kind of one of my favorite things because when a child is diagnosed with cancer or there's a tragedy or anything that's huge that affects personally one child, the sibling tends to get unavoidably pushed to the side. And it's not purposeful, of course, but when your focus has to be an unhealthy child, a child that is literally fighting for your life, it's hard to manage all that. So we try to put back a little bit of the fun for these siblings or a little bit of normalcy for them as well. And it's proven to be super beneficial. When we have a family day, which is also obviously for the whole family, used to, when the families walked up, the siblings walked up like this. But now that they have their own part at camp, they run to the table, they get their name tag first, and then they're gone. They don't have to wait to be told where archery is or to be told where the ice cream is. They know it's their home too. So that's a huge, huge part of what we do is try to love on the whole family because it affects everybody.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. You know, I really haven't stopped to think about it. And of course, whenever you're not a family and you haven't personally had that struggle, you don't fully think through how it does affect everyone. But that's incredible. One of the things that
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I get so excited when I get to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, when we're in it, and I've been blessed enough to be in it 21 years now, you realize if there's two parents in a home, one typically has to leave their job in order to care for the sick child. So then money changes, right? You're less in income. So that may cut out baseball or piano or ballet or arts or whatever it is that a sibling or siblings want to do. And so then once again, they're left with less, if that makes sense. So the whole family's left with less. And so we've tried to do these things, of course, at no cost to these families, because so much of what they're having to do is save that life, right? And so again, if they've lost a job or had to take a leave of absence, unpaid, and cancer is expensive. We had a camper one time years ago that the only thing she wanted to eat for like an extended time was Cheetos, y'all. So that mom got all the Cheetos out of the vending machines all through the hospital because that's all she wanted because her taste changed. Chemo changes your taste. Radiation can change your taste. And so that kind of got expensive, believe it or not. If you're sticking $1 in a machine all over the hospital and you've lost an income, those things matter. So you're not going to pay for a weekend camping trip, right? You're not going to have that money. We do that for them so that the moms and dads can come themselves for a day, or we have a new program that we're going to implement in September, which is a family retreat where the whole family gets to spend the night. If you're not having to pay for that and you're there and there's a doctor there and there are nurses there that can care for your child, that makes it so much easier, such a relief to get to do that. And that's part of what we do.
Wow. So that's a new thing coming up. So y'all have not done a family retreat that's overnight, huh?
Right. We do family days, which is actually, as you just mentioned, it's Mardi Gras time, but also this weekend during Mardi Gras weekend happens to be our teen weekend and family day. And we've had a family day for 15 years probably, or close to that. But we've not had a night where the parents get to sleep in the cabins and they get to fish, an extended period of time, or they get to do arts and crafts extended. What we're hoping this will do is not only give them, a night at camp and a great opportunity, but it's so important for newly diagnosed families to come and see where their child that's got cancer or the sibling will be sleeping, will have their shower. Camp week, if you go swimming, that's a shower. Not really. We do that.
No, it counts. It counts.
But but for parents to actually see how they're going to be cared for makes a newly diagnosed family more likely to give their child to us for a week, right? And camp week is for children ages 7 to 17. Everything is that for spend the night without parents is 7 to 17. But it would be great for 5-year-olds' parents to come spend the weekend, spend that family retreat for a couple of years so that when their child is 7, it's easier to give a 7-year-old up for a week because they've seen the showers that, like I said, they've seen where the child will sleep. They've slept maybe in the exact same bed. Who knows, how that'll work out. But they've swam in the same lake. They've eaten the same snow cones. Whatever, we're doing, they actually had hands-on and know that it's okay to give us their child, which is extremely selfless for families to give up a child with cancer for a week because their life is already uncertain. And to give that up is just such a selfless act for these parents. And it's humbling, really.
And that might be one of the first times that the child has been out of the home around those ages. When you're real young, you don't start doing the sleepovers. You don't start going anywhere for a while. And so that might be the longest period they've been away from family. So getting a chance to experience beforehand, that's brilliant.
Right. We feel like it'll benefit them so much. And you're right. I mean, one of the things we do a lot with training with our volunteer counselors each year is about homesickness and how that looks, and that, some of these kids, the minute they're diagnosed, are sleeping in the bed with the parents, or even in the hospital, mom or daddy's touching them like they're there. And so to all of a sudden be thrown into a room with, 6 other people that you've never met in your life, unless you met them, getting treatment, is daunting, right? And so we think this is going to make such a difference for those that need that. I mean, many, like exactly what you said, is that they've not been away from family. Maybe they did stay with a grandparent once, but they've not been away from their families. But part of what we hope happens, and typically does, is once they get to camp, they realize, oh, I can spend the night off. And the parents realize, oh, they can spend the night off. I can tie my own shoes. I can carry my own backpack. I can, because when a child is sick, you tend to do everything for them. I did, I would, I will. I mean, how can you not, right? But then all of a sudden, when they start feeling better, they forget they can do all those things on their own, right? Because they've been so dependent. And we will do 100% of what's needed to help these children and protect them. But we also help them try to get back to normal. Like, you don't get to get in line first because you had cancer. Everybody here had cancer.
Great point. Yeah.
Right. And it's not like you're not special, but it's everybody's on the same playing field.
Yes. We want them to feel like while they're at camp, they are just like every other kid on the earth, because they are, but they're completely not, right? But even like our nurses, they do their best to bring the medicine to the campers instead of them going by the med shed. So like one year the nurses were the turtles. What are those? I forgot the turtle's name. But they came with their medicine in pizza boxes.
The Ninja Turtles.
Yes, Ninja Turtles. So they came in. I almost said American Ninja Turtle, but that's American Ninja Warriors. Anyway, I got them. They're kind of the same, right? They're kind of the same.
Same thing.
But like, they brought their medicine to them in pizza boxes instead of them going to the med shed. So we do everything we can not to interrupt the fun, to bring their cancer back to awareness. We all know they have it, so there's no point in glorifying it. Let's just make that part of what we do.
And you said that was age 7 to 17. Is that, and is that just for the camp, or is that the ages that you guys service?
That is the ages that we serve, other than Family Day. And we serve everybody from birth to 17 is what we do. Yeah. Birth to 17. And the younger kids can come to our new family retreat or our family day. So they have 2 opportunities for what we can offer, for them to come see and be a part. Because, y'all, people get diagnosed at birth. So cancer doesn't care. So we want to serve them the best that we can.
Yeah. How are folks coming to be connected with you? Is it through the hospitals, or through a referral like that? Is that how they come to learn about Rapahope?
Yes. Okay, I'll tell you more. But yes, that's the right answer.
Yes, tell me more.
That is the answer. We are super grateful that the medical profession looks at Rapahope as part of the healing process. They want their families involved with us. And we do serve families from just west of New Orleans to like Panama City. So all of the Gulf Coast, we serve families. And all of the medical staff love what we do. They love us. We've been around for like 37 years now. So we are legitimate. We are real. We're accredited. We're an accredited organization. It's kind of hard to explain, but an accreditation process means you get about 3, notebooks used to be the thing, but now it's, of course, digital, but that helps you provide the safest fun you can. So we're accredited, where we have to follow all these stringent rules, which is so important for any camp to be. When you've got, a bunch of kids running around, you want to make sure everything's done well.
Right.
But yes, to go back to your question, yes, that's our main is through hospitals, whether it's nurses, doctors, child life specialists, social workers, they are our hands and feet right now because we can't get in the hospitals because of all the restrictions.
Yeah.
But also parents are a huge referral. Huge referral. We have a brand new child coming this weekend, a teen weekend that we've not met yet, but another camper's mom said, y'all have to send your child to camp. So they're coming this weekend. And so we're super excited to get to meet them. But yeah, so all that is accurate. Hospitals and parent referral.
Parent referrals makes total sense too, right? Like the best person to talk about you guys and praise you, right? As someone who's been a part of what you're doing.
And one of the things that you mentioned earlier, which I would love to dive deeper into, is the fact that you mentioned that this is a free service to the family. So that is a huge undertaking for y'all to be able to provide the funds and do the fundraising to get these camps and get these programs for these children and families. So talk to us a little bit about how you were funded and how you would like the community to help with some fundraising.
Well, we are so excited to have our piece in your magazine that kind of lists out our major fundraisers. And we do have one coming up really quickly that is community wide. We're so excited about that. But yeah, we are an independent nonprofit. We don't belong to a hospital. We do not belong to like the American Cancer Society. We don't belong to anyone. We're an independent, small organization right here in Mobile, serving the Gulf Coast, though. So, I like to say we are either raising the money, planning how to spend the money, or spending it on the most amazing people in the world. So that's kind of us in a nutshell. And so we do have some big fundraisers that one coming up is called Touch a Truck, and it is in the magazine. Everybody open it, look at it because it's there. And that is going to be at Bay Bear Stadium, and it is amazing, y'all. If you've ever wanted to climb on a big old backhoe, come do it. You can climb on everything, blow the horns and all that. And we partnered with Adoption Rocks, which is also a great organization that helps families. And that's what we do. So we're a good mix for this fundraiser. That day from 9 to 10 is a quiet hour. So that's for anybody that needs to bring their child who has sensory issues and needs to be able to climb on the trucks and stuff without all the noise. So that we do that. And our other big one, which is a huge event and we love it, is our turkey trot on Thanksgiving morning. It's a 5K or a 1 mile gobble wobble. And it's just so much fun, y'all. So those are our two biggest, plus other fundraisers throughout the year that we do. And we write grants, and a lot of people do like in memory of donations, in honor of, we like if you've got you need to do Teacher Appreciation Day, but you don't want to buy one more coffee mug with candy in it. A $10 donation to us or a $20 donation to us, we send a card saying that a donation was made in your honor for your retirement or your birthday or your whatever. And so that's a real, also something that keeps us going throughout the year.
One of the bigger things that I think a lot of people just, out living their daily lives, they don't realize how important fundraising is. It is the part that makes organizations work. And I know that the last couple of years have been hard for everyone. I am super excited. Y'all did not do Touch a Truck in 2021, or did you? I know.
Yes, it was there last year. That was our first year to be involved with it. And it still was hugely successful. It was later. I want to say it was in May last year, and they typically like to have it earlier in the year. And so it kind of interfered a lot with baseball and graduations, and it was kind of a crazy time, but still hugely successful. So we really feel like the upcoming one will just knock it out of the park at Bay Bear Stadium. That was funny.
Nice. And it's not just for kids. It's something that the whole families can go to and enjoy. Yeah, absolutely. And so Turkey Trot too, that's another thing that I want to talk about. If you live in Mobile or you are coming to Mobile for Thanksgiving, for the holidays, it makes most sense to get out there, burn those calories before you go sit down for Thanksgiving. It is a huge event. It's one of the staple holiday events that we look forward to every year. You guys do an amazing job with that, and you get to see a little bit of downtown while you're out running or walking, however you want to do it. And you guys provide a huge breakfast and all those kinds of things. So y'all do an amazing job with that.
Thank you. I love hearing that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
How long have y'all been doing that one? The turkey trot, y'all, yeah, that's been
I
around
want to say
quite some time.
yeah. I want to say we're getting ready to have our 13th this next one.
Love
I
it.
think will
Yeah.
be 13. The last 2 years, because downtown has been under construction, the roads have been a mess and the parks have been under construction. We actually have been in the Battleship the last 2 years, and that has been so much fun too. Because if you've never, run along the bay, you've never run out of the Battleship, it's so amazing to get to run across that bridge. And I mean, it's kind of high, and then you have to do it on the way back. But once you get over the bridge, it's downhill all the way.
Yeah.
But that's been a great move. I don't know that we'll stay there. We're just having to wait to see. The Mardi Gras Park run is, being able to be there is super awesome. But we just got to wait and see what the city is doing when it's time for us to make that decision.
Yeah.
Always something going on. Definitely.
And they're trying to make things awesome, and I respect that and applaud that. It just has messed up our run. But the Battleship is, y'all, it's literally not even 2 miles from Mardi Gras Park. So coming to the Battleship from Mobile, it's not that much farther. It's not hard. So.
Right.
Agree.
Plus, for folks across the bay, it's a nice, nice midpoint, right? People coming from both sides of the bay. It's a nice central location.
Y'all have something else coming up too in April that I want to discuss as well. So for the golfers out there, you have a tournament coming up. How can people sign up, and how can they be involved in that?
Well, you can just go on our website and kind of do the links from there. We are so excited about this. This is our really premier event across, like you were just mentioning, across the bay in Bowen County, because we serve as many kids from Bowen County as we do Mobile County, but we don't have much funding over there. And I live in Daphne. So on my side of the bay, we don't have as much funding as we would like, or as much just visibility. And so we want to grow our identity in Bowen County and further east, because we need everybody's support, but it's also a way for families who don't use Mobile for treatment to hear about it. Sometimes, it's hard to keep up with everybody. And some families in Bowen County do use Pensacola, which is also wonderful. But sometimes we lose that connection. So for us to get our name and who we are and our opportunities more well known in Bowen County is important. So we love it. It's at Timber Creek. It's April 7th. It's so awesome. Last year was our first year, and it was just the best. Like, we had so much fun. So we do hope people will be a part of that. We are still would love to, and are accepting sponsorships for that event. So just let us know. Just send us an email. You can contact us through our website.
I hope that all local businesses are out there thinking and wanting to sponsor this. If you've heard, they have a call for sponsors. So absolutely. It's another way that helps, fund what you guys are doing. And I was going to talk to you about too, and this is me coming to you and not, let's say I don't know anything, like Brooks was saying earlier. When you say children with cancer, are we talking all types of cancer, all stages of cancer? And I know that whenever you had mentioned that you have doctors and you have nurses that are there, for the camps, at what stage can a child, I guess, maybe not attend? I'm just trying to totally understand, if I was a parent in this situation, at what all types of cancers do you service?
Yeah, it's so interesting, because this is the most important part of what we do, the main thing that we do. And it's the hardest to talk about, right? It's the hardest. I was watching you try to ask the question.
It's hard.
It's so painful.
Yeah,
hard. And it is. There's no sugarcoating that. And we serve all types of cancer. It can be at any stage. If you were diagnosed as a 2-year-old and you're in remission, you just had but you had surgery, you're going to be fine for the rest of your life. You can still come to camp from 7 to 17. Doesn't matter. The beauty of that is people saying you can survive it. You can overcome. You can play baseball. You can, be in dance. You can go to college. So it's awesome to see that. We also serve families that have children at an end stage, we can take anybody that the physician believes they can be at camp. So it's
Okay.
anything. To answer that question, and it's all
Okay.
kinds of
Yeah.
brain cancer to leukemias to everything. There's nothing, honestly, that we've not seen. We've seen almost every single kind of cancer come through. Kids with prosthetic legs, kids with prosthetic eyes, and then there'll be some you cannot tell they were ever sick a day in their life, except for the fact that cancer and its treatment sometimes alters development, whether it's socially, physically, mentally. So you can sometimes see it, but you don't know what you're seeing. Behavioral problems and issues, and it's unavoidable, but it saved their life. So
Mhm.
while we may have a 15-year-old that looks healthier than anybody else there, they still need help tying their shoe, or they still need help, getting ready to go for the morning, or reminding them over and over, put your shirt on, or put your, tie your shoe, that type help. Or you may have a 15-year-old that doesn't need any of that help. You barely see a scar. But in fact, one of my favorite stories is several years ago, one of our campers who's now a counselor, his name is David, and he was having so much fun, but he got exhausted and he sat down. He said, Miss Melissa, sometimes y'all forget I had cancer and it slowed my heart. And I was like, oh, you're right. Sit down a minute. Come hang out with me, because you just don't see it. But what is
Right.
amazing is that these children do know their limitations. They know what they need when they need it, and they're their own advocates, and that's awesome. He was not in any danger. He was not in any danger, but he knew it was time to take a break, right? And so
Right.
when we're there, and when you come and you're a part of us, you literally see it all. You see, the bald, you see the pale, you see the throwing up after every meal, or you don't see anything, and it's amazing. And what that does do is help these kids see, all right, I'm sick right now, but they were sick last time, and now they're great. Or because it's so much fun the second year or the third year when they come back and they've got all this hair, and you're like, who are you? We don't even know you with hair, So
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
it's an encouragement for those that are in the trenches to see what can be. And those that aren't sure they're going to get to come back, we actually have what's called our tribeternal ceremony, and that's every year at camp, and we remember those that have not finished their battle successfully, as far as they've passed away. And so they see that we will say their name. Someone will see their name every year forever. And so those that are in a different fight or in a different stage get to see that they won't be forgotten. And
Yeah.
that's another thing we can offer to these families, is a forever.
Yeah.
No matter
That's
what
beautiful.
age you are, you want to feel worthy, and you want to belong, and you want to feel like those around you. And so, especially with children, you guys are providing an opportunity, multiple opportunities for them to be accepted for who they are, how they are, and are surrounded by other children going through the same thing, and seeing someone who has overcome. That's just like beautiful hope that you can give to these families and these children, no matter what the age is. I think that, personally, we haven't experienced it, with our child, thank God, but I can't imagine what that road must be like. And so what you guys are doing is just, it's priceless. You're
And I
really
will
helping their road.
Yeah, and I'll follow that up with every word you just said applies to the siblings. Every single word you just said applies.
Yes. I'm so glad that you said that. Yeah.
Because we have siblings that come to camp whose camper, okay, how we distinguish a camper is a child with cancer, and a sibling is a sibling, obviously. So,
Yeah.
we have siblings that come to camp whose camper never even got to come to camp because they passed away before they could come. But the sibling still needs to be there. The sibling still needs to come. So, and we've had siblings that come before their camper's old enough to come to camp. And in some ways that's helpful to the parents too, that the sibling's been there, they know how it works, and then the camper just makes their way in, and so it's exactly the same, for the sibling. The difference is the siblings not taking chemo or radiation, but they carry their own set of issues, guilt, fear, all those things that are just hard to manage, so
Mhm.
when they are at a weekend with other kids just like them, it's healthy and it's healing.
Absolutely. And I know that none of this can be done without the help of volunteers as well. So, do you guys have, I know that you have the events that you have coming up. Do you have on a daily or a weekly or a monthly or even in the summer opportunities for those in the community to come and volunteer?
We do. Yes, we do. And listen, there's been times that I am so overwhelmed by the goodness of volunteers and the generous hearts that I know you hear that all the time about volunteers, but y'all, it's a commitment to come and stay a weekend with siblings who are wild. They are wide open. It is amazing and it is just beautiful. But it's also a commitment to come for camp week where you may be literally helping a child in and out of a wheelchair all week or running after them because they have all the energy in the world. I mean, it's everything. So it is amazing. But yes, we have opportunities for people to help us for a week, for a weekend, for a day. Yes, every kind of idea of volunteering, yes. Now at camp, you do have to be 19 or older, and that's because our kids are up to 17, and we just like that age a little bit of
Mhm.
an age gap. But yes, volunteers all year for fundraising, for our programming events. Yes, please. And you can also do that on our website. And there's a button to click and then just fill out the information and then we'll contact you when there's a place to, put you to work or to
When you
fun.
said,
I like to say put you to
put you to fun. Whenever you mention like the goodness of people's hearts, it is amazing. The people that we get to speak to and the people that truly are involved and want to do good. Good is everywhere. And thank you guys for all that you guys are doing. I know it's a tough struggle for the families and for the children, but you guys are bringing the best of it and giving them hope and giving them a little fun along the way. So I know Brooks has a question that he always likes to ask
Oh
as
yeah, I do.
we wrap up our conversations. So I will let him take it from here.
Yeah. So, is there something that when you're out, you're talking to people and you're doing interviews, is there something that you wish people would ask you more of, but they don't? And you're like, man, I wish they would ask me this so that I could shine the light on this certain thing that we do. Is there anything that comes to mind when I say that?
two. There are two, absolutely
Okay.
two. The first most important one is if you've ever met or hear anyone, whether it's in a civic club or your church or your neighborhood or your child's school or your child's daycare that's diagnosed with cancer, they need to know about us. They may not
Right.
hear about us. We're not on the news every day. We don't have billboards everywhere. We're not necessarily super present until you need us. But
Yeah.
they don't know they need us until they need us. And that's
Yeah.
the community's voice telling people, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry this has happened to your nephew or your, brother or what, let me tell you about something that can help.
Great point.
So that's first. And secondly, we were gifted a building several years ago for our everyday work, which administratively nonprofits do a lot of administrative work, and what we do for the families can't happen without it. And we were donated a building for administrative, but it's also got a huge space where we could have pizza night for newly diagnosed families, or have moms in for pedicure night, or have dads in for a cookout. But we just need to remodel it. And that is also on our website. And so to get the funding to do that would be super helpful because then we can provide even more for the families, especially newly diagnosed families that just need us for 45 minutes or need us,
Mhm.
Just enough to come in, meet us, see what we can do for them. And so that would be the next thing that I would always love is people want to know maybe I would want people to know what our future is. And our future is more. And we can do so much once we're in that building. So I'd ask that they go to our website. You can read all about it and see it. It's going to be amazing. And it will impact these families in a way that nothing else can.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that.
I'm so glad you mentioned that as well. Because we talked about that before we hit record. Was that you guys had acquired we're given a building, which is beautiful to have a communal space where you can bring people together. But that it's older, and it needs a little TLC. It needs a little love and care, and so that takes a lot of money. And so I'm glad you mentioned that. Okay, so you mentioned the website. I want you to say the website, and then if people, it sounds like the website is probably the place you would want to send people if they want to find out more information or get more info. Yeah. So
it's simply rapahope.org, and you can find everything on there. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Please go and like us. Doesn't that sound fancy? Facebook and Instagram. But do go like us on all of that, because then you can see what we're doing all the time, and you can be a part of it or support us or just be excited about it and be able to share it with other people who do need us.
Word of mouth.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
For sure.
Well, Melissa, thank you so much for being with us today and taking time out to talk to us about Rapahope. We appreciate that so much.
It's been a treat for me. So thank you very much. And I wish y'all all the success, because it's helping us. Your success helps us. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Awesome. And you keep doing all the good that you are doing.
All right, Melissa. Talk to you soon. Take care.
All right, bye.
That was great.
That's so great.
This is awesome.
Word of mouth. That's actually something that I wanted to talk about.
I'm so glad she said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as she was saying it, I was like, genius. Yeah, because like the hospitals or their Rapahope's talking with the medical folks, right? To say, hey, make sure people know about us. Families that know about them can tell other families about them. Yeah. But for the community to be aware of Rapahope, that like, hey, if you have a friend or you have someone that ends up having a child with cancer, that you can tell them about Rapahope. That's such a great point. I thought that was great.
Bring a little light to a horrible situation. Yeah. And so we thank them for all of they are doing every day of the year. So I hope that you enjoyed that conversation. Super excited to bring you some more as we keep on going with the organizations that we have in the magazine. It is a beautiful, endless list.
We have a lot of interviews scheduled.
Yeah.
We're pumped. I mean, we have a lot of work to do. It's a lot of work, but we're excited to do it. We're excited. Exactly. We're excited to talk with it. Anyone that wants to talk with us that is in our publication is getting the opportunity to have an interview and further tell their story. And we couldn't be more excited to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
So we'll see you on the next one.